Welcome. So we just wanted to come back and make a video where you can actually see the cursor when I'm trying to do just a quick paint job, for anybody that's getting into iRacing and is looking to have a paint job to represent their team and have their logos on their car. A lot of the leagues now require you to also have a decal layer to represent some of the sponsors that are helping to promote that league. So one of the leagues we compete in is the Rick Motec Classic Sprint Series. We've competed in the Sports Car Series and the World Challenge Series that are coming up. We have a race on Monday. Today's Friday. So let's say we need to get a paint together and submit it last minute to Bobby there. And so that's what we're going to try to do here. Just get a quick paint job done and show how the guys at the Extreme Motorsports League provide you with a paint guide so that you can have that guide to place on top of your paint, your livery, and make sure that your logos are not going to interfere with the logos that are there on their decal layer. So let's go ahead and launch Gimp and see, now we have a cursor. We have a cursor on screen. So let's launch Gimp. We clicked on it. It already was launched. I just minimized it. But let's go ahead and choose a car to paint. So let's go to File. We're going to say Open as Layers. We're going to find our iRacing templates. We click on that, all iRacing templates, and then here you have all the different models of templates. We downloaded the whole folder of iRacing templates from Trading Paints. You can also download them in the UI, I believe. So let me just show you here. We'll open up, here are some of the paints we've done, but let me show you. If you say, let's take a look here where we get the paint jobs from. We say, let's see. We go to paint cars. So you can obviously paint a car in Trading Paints, but we want to say to download, to go to painting templates. So you would go here first, and you can select individual paints, from the different car models. Otherwise, I think you can scroll all the way to the bottom and download all the paints. Let's see. So you can say all iRacing templates, and that's what we ended up doing. You know, you can also get your suit and your helmet here, but we ended up downloading all of them, and that's what's in this folder of all the iRacing templates. So we've already painted a GT3 car in our last video. It was a Porsche GT3. Let's go ahead and grab something else. The LMDH, which would be the newest prototype, right? So I think I have that somewhere else, but you know what? Let's do another GT3 really quick, just to be straightforward. We did the Porsche. Now let's choose another car. There's the Porsche, the Ferrari, I believe the BMW with that big ugly nose. Um, but let's grab the Ferrari. We'll just start with that, and then maybe we'll grab the BMW hybrid. So here's the Ferrari Evo. Click on that. This is the paint that they provide you with. All of these other ones are ones I've done before, but let's open that up. And like I said, we're just going to start from scratch, and you can just see what it's going to take just to get a quick and dirty paint job out there for yourself to be able to compete in a race. You can just click OK on this Gimp message. Actually, we need to bring this over into the screen. This is the other message that pops up. When you get this convert to RGB working space, I don't touch anything except convert. And there you go, there it comes up. You'll see over here on the right hand side, the little I means that it's enabled or you can view it. I uncheck that. You see what happens there. Paintable area, I can uncheck that, and then the color goes away. So let's go ahead and expand this one by clicking on the plus. Let me get rid of the chat really quick here, just for a little bit. I'll still be able to see chat and answer things, but anyway, and that's if anybody stops in. Otherwise, you can leave a message, because this will be on YouTube anyway, or send me a private message. So you have your base paint that you start with. That's basically the bottom layer, and then it works its way up through the car patterns. We'll enable that in a second, but you can see here you have the pit board. That's what the lollipop guy is going to hold up in front of you in the pits as you come in. Any color changing things like the arrows you see there on the screen. Pit box colors, you'll see right there on the screen that are flashing. Those two little squares basically are the colors that the pit crew tent and maybe the toolbox will be. You also have IMSA car decal. So if you look right here on the right, the car decal, the iRacing one is there. So you have an iRacing number plate. You have the Ferrari logo across the windshield banner, another iRacing number plate on the roof, and one on the side there. You also have the Pro decal on the back. So if we take that away, those go away, and you'll see later on that that's basically, once you have your design on your car and your own logos, this is what you would submit to the Extreme Scoring program, which is well, we'll get to that later, but basically you submit your paint through the app.extremescoring.com paint program. You upload your paint through there, your TGA file. So you'll see that when we get to that point, but basically just wanted to explain a little bit of that. So we'll put the car decal back on for now. Let's show you the IMSA one. You can see the IMSA decals change it a little bit, and that's if you're running the IMSA series on iRacing. You could run that. It says GTD instead of Pro. You can see the number plate changes to those sponsors. So that's similarly what happens in a league type of environment where you have the Rick Motec Sports Car Series, World Challenge, Classic Sprint Series. They have their own decal layers, and that's what you end up getting from Bobby, that you place on here as a guide to make sure that some of these logos won't interfere with some of the logos that you plan to add to your car. So let's get rid of that. So you can see we have those things there. Some of them are visible, some are not. We took the number plates off. We'll leave that on there until we come back. We're going to go ahead and expand also this other one that says turn off before exporting TGA. I'm not sure why it says to turn it off, but anyway, we're going to expand this red area here, and you can see a little more. It contains the car mandatory items that's visible right now. If we take that off, you'll see some of the parts disappear. Everything turns that base layer blue. So we'll leave that on there. If we click car number, you can see that's where iRacing will stamp a car number on your car or on the lollipop signs. The sponsor areas there, that's basically where you're able to set a sponsor, a logo for your team, or sponsors for your team, and obviously on the wing as well, where this season I believe that the Rick Motec World Challenge will be placing driver names on the wing. So that's a helpful guide there as well, and we'll make sure you'll see when we put the Rick Motec layer on there, you'll see where things land so that we make sure that we're not conflicting with anything else. Um, you can see we take the mask away, does that for you. The wire guide that can also help you so that you're not placing a decal over like a door handle or a vent in the car and it screws up your logo. We're not gonna mess with spec maps right now. I'm still learning about that stuff. So let's just scroll down. Let's now take a look at car patterns so that we can get started on choosing some colors. We're gonna do a quick Fritosport racing team car, and like I said, you're gonna want to have your own logos to apply. But let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to enable that. You can see now I'm going to expand the car patterns. And now you have all these different car patterns named from car pattern 00 TGA all the way down through all these numbers. So you can delete the ones you're not going to use, but right now we're just going to go through and go down the order, and we're going to basically make that I disappear so it's not visible to us, so we can look at the next pattern. So there's the next pattern. We want something a little bit more fun here. That's not bad. Let's see. We'll try to do something a little cooler today. Not just lines or something simple. This is actually what I believe we're using, the template we're using this season. Just different colors, obviously. But yeah, let's change it up a little bit. That's pretty cool. Let's see what we want to choose this time. And see, you can kind of see if you use, we're only going to focus on choosing 3 colors for this because, like I said, we're going to keep it simple. You have the red, the green, and the blue, and I'll show you what I do with those layers. And it's something I learned from Eric Violet through his guide he has on the forums. You know, guys like Travis Schwenke, Eric Violet, and Bobby Childs, a lot of other guys in the league, they do amazing, like, custom work from the ground up. We're doing something quick just to be able to have something to show in the league rather than a flat black mat car on the broadcast on Monday. Okay, you have something like that. Let's see. Let's choose something else here. Don't know if we want to go that wild with it. We'll see what else is available to us here. That might not be too bad. We could possibly use this one, and let's see what else we have. So let's just remember, we kind of like that one. It's car pattern 13. We might come back to that one. Let's see. That one's kind of cool, but I fear that the blue here on the door will kind of not look so good once we put a sponsor logo over it. It might kind of look weird. So let's keep going. We kind of want that area a little cleaned up there. Let's see. This one might work for us. I don't think I've seen this one before. And we are getting towards the bottom there. So let's see. We remember we like 13. That's 19. We might come back to 19. Yeah, I think we will end up using 19. So let's go. There's 19. We make it visible again. We can uncheck the base one. We're not using it. Remember, the layers go in order, so that top layer is the one that's most visible unless you do uncheck it. So we go back through here. Only the car 19 pattern is selected there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all of these other ones not visible. All of these other layers, because now we're going to start manipulating the paint, the actual colors. So we're going to do this, and we're going to click on turn off before exporting. So now you can see the only things that are visible to me is paintable area, which, see, if we do that, then it all disappears. So paintable area, car pattern, so we need those two, and the actual pattern that we're working with, car pattern 19. So the next thing we want to do here is you're going to right click on that car pattern, and you're going to scroll up to right here where it says new layer. It's going to create a new layer. Let me drag that so it's visible on this screen because we're using triples. I don't do anything here except the layer name. It says blue. I'm going to say OK. So now you can look here. You have the car pattern. Right above it you have blue. I'm going to select the car pattern again. I'm going to right click. I'm going to click on new layer again. And this time we're going to type in green up there, right here. And then we're going to say OK. So look at that. All we did was type in green. We say OK. Select car pattern again. And obviously we're working with red, green, and blue. I'm going to click on this again. Scroll up to new layer. This time we're typing in red. And we say OK. So now we come back here. You see what's visible here now is 4 different layers. The car pattern and the 3 new layers we added. So basically we're separating those layers so we can work with each individual one. The red one here, I'm going to right click on it. But wait, before I do that, we're on car pattern. I'm going to come here and you see where it says layers? I'm going to check where it says channels. Here where it says channels, that's something that I noticed that Eric did in his guide that's on the iRacing forums. I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to drag it down here. So it's a blue channel copy. I'm going to take the green, drag it down here. It creates a green channel copy. The red, same thing. And now I need to click so that these have that darker black background. I don't remember exactly why, but that's how it works. We click on layers again. Now we can add a mask so that this design will work with the red layer will have a mask that only works with that red color so that you can use your paint bucket tool. So I'm going to right click on the red layer there and we're going to say we want to add a layer mask. Now add layer mask is here. Now you look at that. Now we have blue channel copy, green channel copy, red channel copy, which we had to create right in that channels area next to layers. I'm going to select red channel copy because it goes along with that red layer. Now I'm going to click on the green and I'm going to right click and same thing, add layer mask. Make sure that we select green channel copy and click on add. Now we do the blue. Right click on blue, add layer mask, blue channel copy, and click add. So now you can see we still are working with these. We have those 3 layers now. So we have to decide now what colors we want to use on this Fritosport car. Fritosport cars normally tend to be, I'll give you an idea, our colors, the individual drivers can choose their own colors, but our logo has most of the time been yellow and black and some white. So that's kind of what we've done. I'm pulling up the iRacing UI so you can see my content and you'll be able to see the different kind of cars we've painted. Pretty much follow the same guideline, you know, and I jump into so many different cars that's the main reason why we choose simple design, simple colors. Sometimes we get a little bored and put in something new, but you can see as the cars are populating here, the common theme is the black, the yellow, and the white. So you can see we have an Arca Menards Chevrolet. I'm going to click on car model. And what you'll notice is that a lot of these cars, I'm not that good yet to create custom shapes, custom things, flip them and do all that. So these are literally iRacing templates that you can download from the UI or you can download the whole folder from Trading Paints. So you can see here, my number is 57. I've done a black layer for the first layer, which was the red, and then yellow and white. So this is an iRacing pattern that they provide. And then on the black, we've also added a carbon fiber layer over the black. So yeah, I mean, this was done pretty quickly, pretty simple. Let's say close. You can see here, this is a car that would run in the sports car series in Rick Motec XMS Racing Series, presented by Proforma Elite Texas Graphics. So you can see here, same thing. We chose the black, the yellow, and the white, and those correspond to either the red, green, and blue layers that we're going to mess with. And you can see the Rick Motec layer has been placed on this car. So you can see those are those decals I was talking about that you don't want to overwrite or overlap with other ones as well. So this is a little older design, but you get the idea of what's going on here, what we're shooting for. So Let's go ahead and go back. But yeah, that's the main thing is we're gonna use these colors because that's what the team runs. That's basically what we do. So we're back here now. So let's think of what we want to do. I guess what we will do here, we will use the we don't want too dark of a car right now, so we're gonna use for the red, we're gonna use the Fritosport yellow that we normally use. We already have the paint bucket tool selected, so I clicked on this square here, which is purple, and then we're gonna go ahead and click on the yellow that we normally use for Fritosport yellow, which is this HTML code, I guess, FFAE00. We say OK, and now that we're over here, I'm just gonna click the paint bucket tool anywhere, and anything that was red for that red layer is now yellow. Okay? So then I think the green is what we want to turn into a black color. So then I click again on my square. I select black from, let me move that up. Being blocked by the webcam. I'm gonna select the black over here. You can see it says current. I'm gonna say OK, and I click that over here now. So that changes. So now that's black. So we want to decide, do we want that to be black or do we want that to be the white? Like I said, we're only focusing on 3 colors here today. I guess we can leave that, but you know what? We'd like to add a little carbon fiber to that. I'll do that at the end since this is as simple as possible. Then the blue, we're going to work with the blue now. Oh, you know what? Oh, I made a little mistake, didn't I? I mislabeled these two, so you can see what happens there, and you will obviously notice that right away because I'm on the green, and the green is what should have gotten painted. So obviously I mislabeled those, so I apologize. This green is actually the blue, and you can see that. So I apologize. This green really should be renamed. So when I was doing the layers, I obviously screwed up and did not select the right channel copy for the green. I selected the blue. So for now, just for this purpose, just pretend that this green, even though it says green here, just pretend that it's blue. Okay, so we know that these got flipped accidentally. So that's blue, and this one that says blue is actually gonna be what you see in green here. So that was my fault. I apologize to mislead you guys on that in these channels. I mislabeled them. So now that one we're gonna choose white. Oh, you know what? Jesus, I'm sorry guys. Let's fix this. Okay. So back to the layers. Here we are. We're gonna fix this right now. Okay, so we're gonna go to layers, car pattern, and just like I did before, we're going to say new layer. We're going to type blue. We're going to say blue, and then new layer. We're going to say green, just like we did before. Yeah, I apologize for that. Hope it doesn't confuse you too much. But now that we do the add the layer mask, now we need to make sure it's the proper one. So green should be the green channel copy, and blue should be the blue channel copy. And there you have it. Now we do have 3 different ones. So I accidentally did not switch one. So anyway, let's go back to how we were. We're sitting here, and the blue, we were going to turn it into a black. Is that right? I think so. So now it worked. Now the green, we're going to select the white square. And now it's more along the lines of what we were talking about. So, like I said, this is just a Fritosport paint job, quick and easy. And you see, I was able to correct that mistake. You don't have to fully start over. You can just delete layers. Just right click on a layer, and you want to use this delete layer. This one here says delete layer mask, and I'm sorry it runs off the screen. but you'll see that on your monitor. You want delete layer, get rid of the whole thing, add the layer, new layer, and then once you have the layer, you can do add layer mask. So anyway, let's continue here. My apologies. So we have the base, we have the car pattern 19, we have what was the red layer. We just used the paint bucket tool. We selected our color and we did the paint yellow for the red layer that was there. Anything that was blue got painted black. Anything that was green got painted white. And now we're going to scroll up through these patterns. We don't need such a big list, so basically now we're done with the car pattern. I'm going to click to not have that be expanded, and now we can focus on this other paintable area. We can start bringing some of these things back. The pit board, I'm going to make that visible, and you see the pit board needs to be painted. We also want, as we're coming down pit lane, we want to be able to see which one is our pit box, and also the lollipop guy, our team, the pit crew. We want to have them all the same color. So I'm going to click this here again. It's still on the paint bucket tool. I'm going to select the yellow. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to click that right there. So that right away is going to change that lollipop to the yellow that we need to see, so that we can easily identify where our pit box is, so we don't see a bunch of the same color pit boxes. Now color changing, we just want to enable that again. You can see what that does. You can leave it if you want the black little arrows on the roof, or you can do that. I'm going to leave it enabled. Pit box color, you're going to see that in the lower corner there. You see how it comes back with a green and red square. So I make it visible, but then I need to select it. Make sure that this box is highlighted there on the right. Now I'm going to also make sure that my pit box color, that's obviously the tent, toolbox, things like that, I guess. I'm going to make sure that's the same, yellow, yellow, for both of those, so that when I'm coming down pit lane, I just look for the color that matches my team color. You can put the car decal back on. We'll go ahead and take that off, since we're doing this for a league and we have a league decal that we need to apply. We'll apply that at the end though, once we're done. I guess we can add it now actually. That way we will know where we can and can't place logos for our car. So let me go to File, Open as Layers, and if we look here, there is the 2023 Ferrari Evo GT3 PNG, and those are available in Discord. I'll show you where those are available. In XMS Racing. Okay, so if you look here in Discord, you go to XMS Racing, Extreme Motorsports Racing, you look at World Challenge Paint Guides, and then you basically click these and you're able to download it. It's a PNG file, I believe, and then that PNG file can then get opened up here. So basically we save the PNG file we downloaded here into the same template folder that we have the Ferraris in. So then I'm just going to click on Open, and you're going to see that get applied to the paint. Hopefully. Okay, there it is. So now you can get an idea of where the Ricmotec number plates are. The Ricmotec windshield banner is placed there. The number plate is on the front of the car there. You see the lollipop is going to have these. And you see where the last name is going to go. So this decal layer is not something you put on. It's something that the art and livery guys, Bobby Childs, puts on for the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotec series. That's why it says do not export guide with livery. So once you're done painting your car, you've added your logos and make sure that they don't overlap with anything that they have. Then you can make it not visible, and you will upload your paint. So you have 2023 Ferrari Ricmotec guide here. We're going to leave that in place for now as we continue to add our logos, making sure that we don't run over any of these or these here. Now we're going to come up here, and where it says turn off before exporting, we're going to make this visible. Then I'm going to scroll to the bottom of it and say car mandatory. Now you see more things popping up. Now we're going to see the shape of the car. I'm going to keep going up, and I'm going to click on mask. Now you see the whole car there, how it's going to take shape. Okay, you can use the wire, like I said, sometimes it's hard to see it in the white sections I made. But what we're going to end up doing is we're going to now click on sponsor. We're going to add our quick sponsors here. You know, you can mess with angles and all sorts of things and rotate it and make it look really good, but we're going to make it a little simple today. Just going to click on sponsor, make sure that this is highlighted so that any of the sponsor logos that I add from our team will show up there easily. So let me dig up my my files here that I use. Sorry, it's a little buried in here, but I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look for a Fritosport team um, logo. Let's see here. Here we go. So then this one, now I need to obviously move it or resize it. I can press Shift and the letter S, and that combination brings up the scale window. You can use the arrows. You can also use these little boxes all around it and resize it. So I'm going to use the middle one up here. I'm going to scale that down and make it pretty small. You can see the width and height of it. I'm going to then come over here, since I need to place it in that green box because we're just putting this one on the door. Here you can see it's at 33.3%. I'm actually going to go to 100% zoom, and then we're going to scroll down. And now that I have it there, I need to move it within this area. So what I'm going to do now is, it probably will still need to be adjusted for size, but now I want to move it. So then I come over to the left and I use the move tool. Now when it's like this, see, you have to be in the logo, otherwise you're gonna move the whole template like this, and you don't want that. So let me go back up here, edit, undo move layer, and that's, you're gonna use edit quite a bit if you make mistakes. So I did edit, undo move layer. So now I'm gonna move this logo in place. I don't really want it hitting anything. Oh, I guess we got the size pretty well. So I place it there within this area. I don't really want it to hit these lines, these black lines. So I'm going to all of a sudden make the sponsor box here invisible. And I see that I need to move it a little bit more so that it doesn't touch that black line. So let me move the logo a little bit away. Try to keep it here. Move it over there a little. We're still in the boundaries. Oops, click the wrong one. We'll click sponsor. So maybe we need to shrink it just a little more. I'm going to click Shift S, and I'm actually going to use this corner one to get it away from up there. And then, let me see, we're going to possibly need to move it again. I shrunk it down a little, but I'm sure now it's touching the other black one there. Now I don't necessarily need that box. I know kind of where the boundary is. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. Let's see, one little bit. So to me that looks pretty good. Obviously if I wanted to rotate this layer, I would press Shift and R. And Shift and R lets you rotate it. You can click and then rotate that logo if you want it to be like this on the door, you know. So we could do that and then click rotate. Then it would stay there. So let's go back to 33%, zoom out. That looks okay, you know. Like I said, this is just to get a car with your logos and your team ready for a broadcast if you don't have much time. So I guess we can leave that one there. We'll click the sponsor box again to make it visible, and now we have an idea of what that's going to look like. I don't remember exactly how to do a flip on here, layer flip. But anyway, I'm going to do what I can do right now. I know that Travis mentioned you can set a guide, I think down the middle, and you can then flip that logo over to the other side. What we're going to do right now is we're just going to duplicate it. I'm going to right click on the Fritosport logo we just put there, and I'm going to scroll up here to duplicate layer. I duplicated it, it's sitting right on top. I need to then go back and click the move tool, and we'll move this over here, and we'll go ahead and zoom in back to 100%. We'll come over here, and obviously we need to rotate it, so I'm going to press Shift and R, and we're going to rotate this kind of to where we think it should be, and then we'll move it into place and into accurate place. So I click rotate, move tool again, and now I can move this to where I think it needs to be. Let's go back to, we'll do 50%. And this way we can kind of gauge to see if we've got this in the right area or not. Maybe we need to move it a little bit. Let's get rid of the sponsor box there. We can see it's pretty close. You can see there's a little clip here, a body clip. It's pretty close there. Um, and then the distance here as well. So let's just do a little closer, move it over just a little. So like I said, for a quick paint job here, I think this is looking okay. Let's click on sponsor again. We have a couple other sponsors we want to add to this car. And you see, as we notice that, we can tell that if we try to put sponsors here, we're going to be right on top of the number plate, so that's not going to look good. We do notice that we have space over here to put a sponsor. So let's go ahead and grab another sponsor from the team. We'll grab ILSR Designs. We say open. And I Love Sim Racing Designs is our friend and teammate Kev Mills, who makes some of the button boxes that we use. So now we're going to rotate that. Obviously we need it to go this way. I'm going to click Shift and R, and I'm going to rotate that to 90 degrees. Oops. Say rotate, click the move tool. We're going to move it over there, but obviously we need to resize it so it'll fit inside that field. I click Shift and S, and now I'm going to shrink it down, start getting it closer. Let's go ahead and zoom in to 100%. Click here, that middle box, we're getting it down there, and we just basically want to get it to be about that size, right? You can see it fits within the green. You can kind of see the green there. Now I say scale, and I'm going to now use the move tool again, and we'll try to move it into place. Looks to be fairly well centered. Click on 33%. So now let's go ahead and add, we'll add Greg Brockway Consulting here, who was very kind to pay for our entry fee for this season. We'll go ahead and put that on the back here, on the back of the car, as we notice that it's not going to interfere with anything, with the number plate, numbers, or any of the Rick Motec, Apex Racing TV, Proforma Elite Texas Graphic, or XMS decals. So now let's say File, Open as Layers. Now we need to find that Greg Brockway Consulting logo. Let's see which one we're going to grab. We'll probably grab that one. We'll say Open. You know it's probably going to be pretty big. So then again, Shift and S to scale it down. We'll scale it down this way, scale it down this way. Get it to about the size we need. We'll say Scale. Now I need to click Shift and R to rotate. So Shift and S is to scale, Shift and R is to rotate. 90 degrees, we say rotate. Now we do the move tool. Before I do the move tool, let's go ahead and put it at 100%. And we might even need to go to 200% so that we can really look closely at it. Hey Ken, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I didn't have too much time to race today. I know you guys are probably going to practice, but good luck in the ACC race, man. I hope it goes really well tonight for you, and let me know. Let me know how it goes, and I'll try to catch some of that as well later on. I know that Mike, I think, streams it. So here we go, guys. Big thanks to Ken Eastep for stopping by. Let's go ahead and go to 200%, and we'll move that over so that we can take a look. So we can see that we're just a little bit bigger than we need to be. I'm going to resize this. I'm going to hit Shift S. And let's just make it a little bit smaller. Click Scale. Now we go back to our Move tool. And look at that. We're basically right on. Maybe just a little off. Okay. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but it's pretty much there. You know, you can really play with it and get it really finely fit. Let's go ahead and go back to 33%. So we have Greg Brockway Consulting on the back. We have Fritosport on the doors. Now we're going to put Mike Nickham's Husenfeld Sprint pedal mod that he was very kind to have me test and provided me with. So I really appreciate his support as well. Let's go ahead and find that. There's his decal, and that has been an awesome brake mod. You can check it out at fritosportracing.com. We did a short review on it. Let's click on convert that image, and we're going to place that one in the green sponsor box here. So we're not going to, I guess we'll move it down here, and then we'll click Shift and S, kind of start getting it close to where it needs to be. Let's go ahead and zoom in to 100%. Let's get closer to looking at it. We see that it's probably still too big for that box. So let's go to 170 width and click on scale. We don't want it to run into that black line here, so we're going to keep it to the left area of this box. So let's move it. You can see it's pretty much there. We just line it up right there. Now I'm going to make a duplicate because we're going to also place it on the other fender, the other rear quarter panel. So duplicate layer. Let's go ahead and move it. And there you go. So now, again, we need to rotate it. We're going to rotate this one 180 degrees. I'm going to click Shift R. Rotate. There you have it. So now, 33%. There it is. Now, that's where we're going to stop at with sponsors, because obviously we can't use these two front sponsors. We would be running over the number plate for the Ricmotech decal layer. We could add stuff to the pit board here. We could add other sponsors, or you could add your name. Your number will be there where the zeros are. My number is 57, so that's what the league would stamp on there. Here is where they will place the name. So let me get rid of the sponsor boxes now that we're not going to add any more sponsors. And now you can see the car's starting to come together, looking like a real Ricmotech series car. But yeah, like I said, I guess we could clear these up so that you can see it. I'm going to upload this paint to the UI so you can see what it looks like. You know, I guess we'll leave it as is. We'll leave it as is because it's just meant to be quick and dirty, right? So basically, there you have it. We're not interfering with any of the number plates. We're not interfering with any of the contingency sponsors, anything like that. So you can see the red section here. We have car mandatory. We uncheck the sponsor so that it's not visible. Those boxes telling us where we can't place a sponsor. And then here is the decals we have added. The mask obviously needs to be turned on there so you can see the car. And then basically we are almost ready to go. I'm gonna show you, this is what you would then uncheck the 2023 Ferrari guide that Ricmotech provides. You would uncheck that, and this is what I would want to save. So I could say File, Save As, and I can say Fritosport, Ricmotech World Challenge, Entry. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So then I would save that, and then I would then export as here in Gimp. You see it says PNG, you need it to be a TGA. So I'm going to click on Select File Type by extension here. This drop down, I'm going to scroll all the way down until I see TGA. I'm going to select TGA, and you can see it changed the file name up there at the top. Then I will click on Export, and then I click Export there. So let me show you. We're going to open up Trading Paints here on my browser. Now I'm going to go to what I'm racing in my paints. I'm going to select the Ferrari GT3 Evo 2020 because that's the paint job we just worked on. I'm going to click on Paint Options, choose New Paint, upload a paint, select the file, and now we need to go to where we have our templates that we just made. We need to scroll down till we find that Ferrari Evo folder. Evo, Ferrari Evo. You can see here we are. Now we need to look for the one that I just made, which was right here. and this is going to be a TGA file. Ferrari Evo GT3 Fritosport Ricotech World Challenge entry. I'm going to click on open, and now you're going to see it here flat like we saw it in Gimp, but then I'm going to say, okay, that's there, got it. Okay, so you see there it is. So now let's go ahead and go back to iRacing. You can look at the paint I had made before we change it. I'm going to launch the Trading Paints app, you know. You can see this is what we would be running before with just basically iRacing official races. This is what it would look like. Okay, so then now I'm going to turn on Trading Paints, the software app, you know, and now it should load what I just loaded to the website. So you can see here's Trading Paints. I ran it. It uploaded, but you can see I ran into an issue here. So I should have used the wireframe, and that would have told me that, hey, you're placing your team decal right where the door handle is. So that's something I can go back and change. You know, I could either move this logo down, away, or I can maybe shrink it a little bit to get it away from the from looking like that. You know, because it doesn't look good like that. Like I said, this is just something quick to just to show a process. Um, we have the D-Nut stuff decal there, Greg Brockway Consulting, Computer Solutions for Business back there. But yeah, basically that's a quick and dirty paint job just using iRacing decal layers and 3 colors, throw in a couple of logos on, and then now let me upload it now just to give you an idea. Like I said, this is how you submit it to Extreme Motorsports, and then they take care of the rest. I'm going to now save it, and I'm going to export it so that you can kind of get an idea of what the car will look like once they apply their decal layer to it. So let me go back here. You have to do this whole process again. Paint options, choose new paint, upload a paint, select the file, and we'll do the same one because we saved it, right, with that decal layer visible, the Ricmotech decal layer. Success, got it. There you go, see? It's just a guide. Remember, it's just a guide. So we come here. Now that we have this, I usually just go click, uncheck that, uncheck it again, automatically refresh paints, click save. It's processing. Now you can see, obviously they do their thing where you don't get this double stamp number, but that's where the number plate will be. You see how things change. You have your Apex Racing logos, the windshield banner changed. You have the number plate there, XMS. So, you know, it starts looking like a real car now, you know. You have your decals for the sponsors of the league. The last name obviously would be replaced with Fritosport. But yeah, that's how you can get a quick paint job done here. Let's go back in here and, I mean, you could do more with it, obviously. And I can show you to get an idea a little bit of what. Well, no, let's just keep it simple. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is literally just to get somebody started. But like I said, when you submit it to Ricmotech and you upload it, you're not going to have this on it. You are going to turn that off. Okay? So now let's go back and we're going to change paints. And you can take a look at somewhat kind of what a car is going to look like. Let's take a quick look. Obviously the color they use for the number plate, for the number itself, is going to be white. You see, this is what I submitted to the Extreme Paint program. Very straightforward, very simple. We just have Greg Brockway Consulting on the side, last name on the rear. We take a look at it here. I say automatically refresh paints on Trading Paints. It processes it. Oops, wrong one. We need the UI. And then see, this is what you would see without the decal layer applied by Ricmotech. So very, simple, straightforward design. Once they apply their layer, it'll look a little bit different. Let's take a quick look. Well, hopefully this helps somebody out to just get started, you know. I know it can be a little scary using Gimp for the first time and uploading things. Oops, my apologies. Wrong paint. Okay, this should be the correct one. But you know, I have so much to learn. Like guys like Travis, Eric, Bobby. There's a lot of good painters on there, and they provide a lot of valuable information. So there's a lot of things I still need to look at and work with. But I guess this is an idea you can get. So my car most likely this season is going to look like this, except the number is not going to be stamped by iRacing. It's going to be stamped by Bobby, and it's going to be white. You have Rick Motec, and it'll be GTAM. So some things may change there. This top one I put there because iRacing stamps at 257, and I just didn't want it to be bare. So this is something that, just to give you an idea of what this car is going to look like for this season's Rick Motec World Challenge. That's my name on the back, last name on the wing. But yeah, very simple design. You can see a little bit of the carbon fiber we used in the black line, and that's something you can always go back and do. Um, Let me see, I'm going to pull up Gimp so you can see that. So like I said, as you get further working into your layers and things of that nature, you can reorder these layers and you can add things. Like if I want to make the black on this car be a carbon fiber, let's take a look here. I can say File, Open as Layers, and I can add layers on top of layers, and then you can change the opacity. I guess that's what you say. And you'll see how we just do that right now. I actually do some really funky stuff sometimes, just messing around trying to learn, you know, and that's probably the best way to do things. We have a carbon fiber texture that we like to apply to some of our cars. You can see it's applied here, but it's a little bit too much, so we're going to change the opacity there. What I did is, you see the layer, the carbon fiber layer, the JPEG I just added, it's the size of 2048 by 2048, which is this dimension here. So I would double click that square, and this is what I want to work with, opacity. I think that's how you pronounce it. We'll just take it down to about 40%, and then we click OK. So now it's our little carbon fiber layer there where all of our black was. We can also check that door handle issue by clicking on the wire, and yeah, now you can see that this is where that door handle problem was. But anyway, you have the carbon fiber there. It gives it a kind of a cool look. We say save, and this time we use a different decal. We'll say save, and we could run this car. Actually, we don't want to use the IMSA one. We'll use the iRacing one. And I just want you guys to see really quick what that would look like in the UI. We're trying to save it, replace it. Okay, now we want to export as. Okay, let's minimize that, and you'll be able to see it. Remember where the Ferrari is. Let's see it. Where is it? Whoops. Need to learn my alphabet, huh? So that's what you're seeing right now. Let's go ahead and upload. got it. It should show up there. We're going to refresh again, trading paints. Okay, now we move this out of the way. And then you can see there, we took that Rick Motec layer off so we could run this car in official iRacing series. There you have it. I could have placed last name or another decal here. But yeah, that's what you can get. If you just need a quick car to throw up on a league, um, and you're given a decal layer to place on it, you can place that on there. Remember, turn car decal off and then place the league decal layer on. You can see what I was talking about, that carbon fiber for the black that we added is in there. So yeah, that's basically the basics of using Gimp, getting something done quickly if you need it. You can see we've done other things like that with touring cars as well. Here we have Rick Motec Sports Car Series Audi. We did the car in a black layer, then we did that carbon fiber layer, and then you have the yellow and the white. So that's how that turned out. And obviously we could do a little more detailed work around the car. This is from previous seasons. We can close that, and you can see the car that we ran in the SimPit GTE Championship as well. They had a decal layer. Get Closer Racing, the SimPit. You can see the number plate. Get Closer Racing, the SimPit, and we had our own decals that we added. The Guatemalan flag. This car did not have a windshield banner that was able to be applied for the league, but you can get an idea of yeah, what was applied to this one. Let's see, I know we have other ones as well that we have applied decal layers to. Yeah, here is one which was also for the SimPit GTE Championship. See, so basically different leagues are now really providing you a decal layer to apply if you want to go racing with them. This one they did have the Get Closer Racing, Accelerate Esports windshield banner, SimPit number plate, Get Closer Racing, and Pro designations. But yeah, I mean, if you keep it fairly simple, it's not too crazy on you. Here is, I think, a Rick Motec World Challenge one that we did um, for the LMDH. You can see we have our black layer. We turned it into carbon fiber as well. This was black, white, and yellow. You see the XMS decals there, Fritosport, the GTP sticker. You also have Rick Motec 57 number plate, Rick Motec windshield banner, the nut stuff. I Love Sim Racing Designs. You have the extreme scoring, Apex Racing TV, Apex Racing Academy, and the last name as well. So yeah, hopefully this helps somebody, you know, because I know that, I mean, I've been on iRacing for a couple to a few years now, and it took a long time to figure out what I was doing with paint jobs. It was I was having a hell of a time, and then like I said, Eric Violet's paint guide helped a lot. And then you know you catch tips and tricks from Travis, Bobby, all sorts of people. You know, Greg Mack has also done some really cool stuff. And then yeah, you wind up with some pretty cool liveries. You know, like I said, a lot of these have been very simple. You know, you have an LMP2 car here, which it's not perfect. So you know, it's definitely cool to be able to start playing with more of these, and it's what I like to do when I have time. You know, I mean, then you have ones like this. This was a custom-made paint job by Hugo Hernandez Gutierrez, another teammate. This was our Indy car that we ran for the Indy 500. So, like I said, hopefully this helps somebody. Feel free to reach out, ask any questions. We've done the touring cars. So I showed you a sports car series car, a world challenge series car. Here is classic sprint series. So yeah, hopefully this has helped you guys, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll gladly help. It's nice to see everybody have their individual team cars out there on the track, rather than the typical iRacing stuff. Like I said, this is very simple. It's not custom from the ground up. So hope this helps. Have a good one.
One, go! Wow! One easy right. One easy left. One easy right.
Let's watch. The key to victory on this cool course is patience. But as you know, only patience is not enough to win. Well, you're gonna see your excellent run one more time. Cool breeze, birds and clouds. Relax and enjoy.
Easy left, over jump. One easy left. One easy right, over jump. Wow, one medium right. Wow.
Have to drive only one course for the rest of your life. This is the one. Is this heaven? Yeah.